The 2023 NBA playoffs officially underway. Lots of excitement, drama, boneheaded plays, absolute travesties in the making. I'll let you guys know which team will be the biggest absolute travesty in the first round, but lots of excitement. LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Western Conference. How about Giannis, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, 3 of the MVP finalists? Let's get right into it, starting with the number 1 seed in the NBA, the 58-win Milwaukee Bucks against the Miami Heat, who last night, kudos to Matt Strus and Jimmy Butler making some clutch plays as they knocked off the Chicago Bulls. So, Milwaukee, Miami, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Last time that he beat Miami, that was back in 2021. He swept them. Chris Middleton balled out, but since Middleton's injury is bothering him, like who knows how good he's gonna be with that. But Jrue Holiday has been playing sensational, and I can see Jrue Holiday containing guys like Jimmy Butler, and guys like Matt Strus won't get too hot. And who the hell can stop Giannis? Bam Adebayo has been an absolute travesty offensively in the 2 play-in games. He's been doo-doo. He's only around 6'8". Giannis has 3 inches on him. Giannis just gonna dunk on him all the time, and I don't see Bam having an answer for the Greek Freak. Brook Lopez is gonna knock down some threes. Brook Lopez has been better than Bam Adebayo all season, believe it or not. The 35-year-old has been absolutely balling for the Milwaukee Bucks, and I could just see the Bucks just steamrolling through the Heat. Miami's dysfunctional. They're probably gonna be down 0-2 and then going home. They might win like 1 game or whatnot. This series is going to 6 max, but because of Miami's inconsistency and they have to rely on too many guys like Strus, he can't bail them out for 2 games in a row. He's gonna have a couple good games, but not every game. And Victor Oladipo is now just a shell of himself. I don't see him being useful for this series. Like, I guess he can guard Middleton a little bit and Holiday, but Milwaukee, they also got guys like Bobby Portis too. This series is easy. I got the Bucks winning that in 5 games. How about the number 2 seed, the Boston Celtics against the Atlanta Hawks? And Boston swept the season series, but how about Atlanta getting their shit together despite all the drama and noise? Trae Young has been absolutely solid, and DeJounte Murray too, but the Celtics just have a better team. They're a more experienced team, more well balanced, and Boston, Al Horford's gonna come alive this postseason too. Clint Capella, he's gonna crash the glass, but I see guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're just too big for Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, and size matters in the postseason. Kind of how I remember the Nets series last year, how Boston swept them because Brooklyn tried to go small with 3 little guards and they just got cooked. Murray's a good defender, but he can't guard Jaylen Brown, can't guard Jason Tatum. I see the Celtics winning this series in an easy 5 games as well. Now, moving on, the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets, nowhere to be found. Absolute travesty, Ben Simmons. Who wants to bet that he's not going to show up in the series? Simmons is absolutely pathetic. This was his opportunity to bounce back, but no, of course he shut the bed and he doesn't want to play because he's soft. So I got Joel Embiid and the Sixers absolutely dominating. Nick Claxton, this is going to be a test for Claxton. He doesn't have any superstar by his side, but a lot of people argue that he got robbed for Defensive Player of the Year voting. He did not finish top 3. Claxton has been well improved. Kudos to him for really elevating his game. Mikal Bridges is going to have this average 25, and I still believe that Mikal would be a good 2nd, 3rd option-ish type player. He can't be a number 1 option, especially if you have a team going up against the leading scorer and you have the best playmaker, not the best playmaker, I say like the James Harden, the assist leader, and then you got guys like Maxey too, who's a very good scorer who drives off of Harden's facilitating abilities. And the Sixers just too deep, and Tobias Harris gonna do some damage too, because Tobias, he shrinks in the big games against very good players, but he's not really gonna shrink against Brooklyn. He's just a little bit above the Cam Johnsons of the world and Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't see this being a long series. I got Philadelphia winning in 5 games. I'll give Brooklyn 1 game just due to the fact that James Harden might struggle and just play terrible. He has some of those playoff games frequently, but this series is just going to be a wrap quickly. They have no answers for Joel Embiid, who I believe is on his way to winning his first MVP award. How about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks? This is going to be a long series. I went back and forth thinking about this for a very long time. At first, I picked the Knicks to win this in 7, but due to the injuries and Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle missing the last couple games of the regular season, Brunson has been bothering him, and Randle, this is not good. He's missed the last 5 games, and that ankle, that injury, it looked pretty bad. So if they say Randle will give it a go, but you can't be fully not healthy if you're the Knicks, if you're going up a team like Cleveland in the playoffs where Donovan Mitchell's just going to go by you, super athletic, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, 2 big guys too that the Knicks will definitely need answers for to handle. Emmanuel Quickley has been balling out lately. He's going to have to be the X factor of this series. And Tom Thibodeau, you know Tibbs likes to play his starters 40 plus minutes a game. And Jalen Brunson, if he's not healthy, if he's only 70% healthy, I don't see him beating the Cavs. He did dominate Donovan Mitchell last season when he was with the Dallas Mavericks. The first 3 games, he was sensational, but Brunson not being 100% healthy, I'm a little concerned for New York, to be honest. You still have Darius Garland, who has good foot speed, and he's a good floor general for Cleveland too. And if Julius Randle, if he's not fully healthy, he might struggle in the postseason. He's going up against 2 7-footers in Mobley and Jared Allen, and Randle's only 6'8". It's going to be a lot of work cut out for him. Although Julius has the playoff experience and Mobley doesn't, he's going to have to play well, and Jalen Brunson's going to have to play well. While Cleveland, they can rely good on their defense while Donovan Mitchell and Garland gets the scoring. And I just believe that the Cavs with Allen and Mobley, they don't have to run much on offense. They just the more balanced team. So I got the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the New York Knicks in a close 7-game series in 7. But if the Knicks and Brunson and Randle's healthy, I can see the Knicks winning in 7 and a grinded out ugly series. That's how the Knicks like to play with Thibodeau's system. But due to the injury concerns of Brunson and Randle, I'll ultimately go to the Cavs in a very long competitive series. On to the Western Conference. The Denver Nuggets, they've been slacking off a lot the last couple games, especially after the All-Star break. I believe they went 12-11, so they're going to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, they actually got destroyed by the Lakers in that 4th quarter, but kudos to Minnesota. They beat OKC. Mike Conley, how about that addition? If Minnesota did anything right this year, it's not the Rudy Gobert trade. It's getting rid of D'Angelo Russell and signing the 35-year-old Michael Conley, who's been nothing short of spectacular, sensational. He knows how to run an offense with Gobert. He is as true as a professional as you can get. In yesterday's press conference, Karl Anthony Towns was like, oh, how about Call of Duty? When Mike Conley says his guys need to focus on detail, watch a lot of film, and really study the opponent. And Cat, for a veteran to joke like that, why is Karl Anthony Towns making joke like that? He's not in his 2nd season anymore. He's 27 years old. He's in his 8th NBA year. And guess how many playoff series Karl Anthony Towns won? 0, because of his immaturity. So with that said, I'm going with the Denver Nuggets beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jokic gonna destroy, abuse, annihilate, and humiliate Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns like 1 by 1. Jokic is just too good. Aaron Gordon is also gonna frustrate Karl Towns. I can see Karl Towns throwing some elbows and getting some offensive fouls and throw him off his game. I don't see this series being this competitive, but Anthony Edwards is pretty good. He's been dealing with some injuries, so I'm gonna take Jamal Murray over him in this series. The Denver Nuggets, they're gonna have to wake the hell up. They really have to. Michael Porter and Kyle Anderson. If Minnesota, if Anthony Edwards is healthy, this could be a very long series. They could give the Denver Nuggets a run for their money, but I just don't see that happening due to some of the immaturity from Towns and Edwards. Who knows how banged up he is. I see the Denver Nuggets, they have a lot of pressure going into these playoffs about winning it all, since a lot of their guys been injured the last couple years. But I ultimately see the Denver Nuggets winning this series over Minnesota in 5 games. The Memphis Grizzlies, Los Angeles Lakers, a super exciting one. John Moran versus LeBron James. Dylan Brooks and his trash talk against Dennis Schroeder. Oh, those two gonna get added. And Desmond Bane, pretty solid 20-ish point score like that against Anthony Davis. Jarrett Jackson Jr., AD and the Lakers draws a shit ton of fouls, with guys like Austin Reeves getting to the line. Dennis Schroeder loves to be aggressive, goes to the line. And the Memphis Grizzlies don't really have a center, but they can really outrun the Lakers with their speed and youth. And they have a stable backup point guard in Tyus Jones. I'd rather have Tyus Jones on my team over the questionable D'Angelo Russell, who's just out of control. He doesn't really do much in the playoffs. He's had more shot attempts in the playoffs than actual points scored, I believe. That's just an absolute travesty. I see Memphis running the Lakers out the gym on Sunday afternoon. Memphis gonna have some young legs. They're gonna play fast, and they do have some playoff experience right now. It's not like their inexperience gonna hurt them, but having guys like John Morant, who on the Lakers gonna guard him? I guess maybe Dennis Schroeder. This is going to be a long competitive series. I can see the Lakers, they can steal one. They can actually win this series too. It's almost like a 50-50 toss-up. But due to LeBron and AD, LeBron coming back later in the season and having to elevate playoff basketball, I don't like how the Lakers played against Minnesota. Even though they won, LeBron was also coasting on defense like he does in the regular season. But come playoff time, he can't really do that. He's going to get his numbers offensively for sure, but defensively, LeBron's really got to close out on Memphis three-point shooters, because if he's not going to do that, those young boys might be blowing the Lakers out of the gym. Anthony Davis got to get in the paint, try to get Jarrett Jackson in foul trouble. Guys like Kenny Lofton Jr.'s going to need to be aggressive for Memphis to win, but I do believe that John Morant and Dillon Brooks is going to be focused. And Dillon Brooks, let's see how mature he is in making some of these decisions. You have a good shot making who's legit in Desmond Bane. With that, because of the young legs and due to the Lakers being a little older, I can see the series being 2-2 heading into Game 5 and 6. And I'm just not sure if the Lakers going to last. Anthony Davis did get injured in Game 4 2 years ago to the Phoenix Suns, and he's been injury prone all season too, since like winning the championship in the bubble. AD hasn't really been fully healthy. LeBron and Anthony Davis couldn't put in 5 straight games together, I believe, after the bubble in regular season play. I'm just not sure if their body's gonna hold up. There's only 1 or 2 days rest in the playoffs too, so if they had like 3 or 4 days rest, I can see them being fit to go. But with a little rest and due to the Lakers' age with their 2 stars, I see Memphis being the fresher team, and I got the Memphis Grizzlies pulling out this series 4-2 in a super competitive 6-game series. It's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be unbelievable. How about the 3 vs 6 seed, the Sacramento Kings vs the Golden State Warriors? It's gonna be an incredible series. Golden State is excellent at home, but they suck on the road. 11 wins on the road all year, while Sacramento, having the best offense in the NBA, averaging 120 points. De'Aaron Fox, the biggest clutch player, he's going to get the clutch player award there. And Domantas Sabonis is going to be a beast at center, but he's also not that good in the interior on defense. He's going to have to pound the glass and really make Golden State work, because Golden State, if they go small, Domantas is just going to get every single rebound. I can see that. Keegan Murray, absolutely vital. Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter. Sacramento, if they have their 3-point shots going, if they can match Golden State on their 3-point tries, and they're really bringing the intensity, plus having a guy like Sabonis who can crash the glass. He's a way better rebounder than Draymond. He's also a way better basketball than Draymond right now. I can see Sacramento potentially winning this series, but Golden State, they have Andrew Wiggins back. He's not going to be 100%, going to be a little rusty at first, but we see how good Andrew Wiggins is defensively. They're going to put him on De'Aaron Fox at certain points, and Klay Thompson will probably look to chase around Harrison Barnes, and they probably have Steph Curry on guys like Kevin Huerter and whatnot. But Golden State's championship DNA, also having a guy like Jordan Poole, who's proven himself in the playoffs, they can insert Kevon Looney in to get the rebounds and crash the glass. He's been absolutely vital for Golden State too. While Sacramento don't have much experience, I gotta go with Golden State in 7 games. I think it's gonna go 7, but if Golden State gets blown out in Game 3 and 4 on the road, in games 1 and 2 on the road, and they lose Game 5-2 and the series is like 3-2, I'm not so confident about Golden State. But because they have championship DNA and championship pedigree, and Sacramento lacks experience in a way, I'm going with Golden State in 7 games though, in 7, but it's gonna be close. But I won't be shocked if Sacramento and Mike Brown ends up trumping Steve Kerr The Phoenix Suns versus the Los Angeles Clippers. No Paul George most likely for the entire series. Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker against the discombobulated Clippers who doesn't show any chemistry. They can't really work too well. They lose a lot of regular season games. This hasn't been Ty Lue's best coaching year. Who knows if is he gonna play Robert Covington a lot? Who's he gonna go with? It's gonna be a tough decision. Nick Batum cannot guard Kevin Durant. Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant going at it. That's gonna be an exciting matchup to watch. You have Zubac versus DeAndre Ayton, but I do think that Ayton's better than Zoo. And Devin Booker, he's a better scorer than anybody on the Clippers outside of Kawhi Leonard. I trust him over guys like Norman Powell. So I do think that the Phoenix Suns, because of KD and Book's shot-making ability, those two only play around like 10 games together. But they have filthy chemistry. Chris Paul's been hot lately. Chris Paul, he posted an IG picture of him like dunking the basketball. You know he's locked in. He's more locked in than winning a championship like he has ever before, because he knows this could potentially be his last chance. Chris Paul was struggling most of the season, but he's got his rhythm together. Let's see how his body holds up. Kevin Durant's gonna deliver, and Kawhi Leonard's gonna have his hands full. I can see the Clippers making it competitive, but ultimately, I have the Phoenix Suns winning this in a 6-game series. So there's my playoff matchup predictions. The Milwaukee Bucks. So let me talk about round 2 for just a little bit. The Bucks in the postseason, they're gonna destroy Miami. There's just no doubt about that one. Against who? The semifinals against the Cavs. Knicks matchup, I got the Bucks winning that one if healthy in 5 games. I don't see the Cavs young guys guarding Giannis, and Brook Lopez is going to shoot a lot of threes too. Middleton, if he gets healthy, he's just going to score a lot, and he's too big for Mitchell and Garland. And then I just don't see a good matchup right there for the Cavs. You have Drew Holiday playing good defense on Mitchell, and then guys like Bobby Portis who really steps up. So Milwaukee, they're just way too deep in my opinion. I got them beating the Cavs in 5 games in a second round series. The Philadelphia 76ers versus the Boston Celtics. Because of James Harden's lack of playoff success, Joel Embiid never got past the second round. It's going to be tough for Philly. I just think that guys like Al Horford, and they got Robert Williams if he's available to play well, and Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has Joel Embiid's number in the postseason. Jaylen Brown hitting into a contract year. The Boston Celtics are just way too deep at every position. They have great frontline guys. They have great perimeter guys. Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench. I just think that Philadelphia is going to get overwhelmed. And James Harden hasn't really looked the same since his injury. I'm very concerned about him. Harden cannot lay an egg in the series. Otherwise, he's going to be in one of my future absolute travesty videos. But Joel Embiid's going to step up. He can't get into foul trouble. He's going to have to average like 35 points in the series if they want to have a chance to beat the Boston Celtics. But ultimately, I have Boston winning this in 7 games due to their shot making with Tatum and Brown down the stretch. So it's going to be tough. But I could see Philadelphia winning, but I'm just have to go with Boston. So Milwaukee, Boston, from what I see right now, Milwaukee seems like the team that's more connected. Boston had their struggles, some points in the regular season. Milwaukee, they have the #1 record in the NBA with Chris Middleton missing like 40-ish games. And Drew Holiday's been sensational too. Giannis is in his prime. I got the Bucks beating the Celtics to go to the NBA Finals in 7 games. Now on to the Western Conference. The #1 seed Denver Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns. I'm going with the Phoenix Suns just because Chris Paul is very good at strategizing the Nuggets. He destroyed Denver 2 years ago with his mid-range pull-up jumper, the pick and roll. Denver's had no answers for that. Even though the Nuggets weren't really healthy, they still had Michael Porter. They just didn't have Jamal Murray, and they got swept. And this time, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker on the same team, like Denver's not gonna stop them. There's no way. Bruce Brown's too small. Jeff Green's too slow, and no, Jokic is going to have his hands full with a big body like Ayton. He's going to get the best of Ayton, obviously, but you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker on the other team against Jamal Murray. That's just too much offensive firepower at the end of the day for the Phoenix Suns. I have the Suns winning that one in a 7-game series over the Nuggets, and I don't think it will be that close because Phoenix's shot making, this is going to be a huge test for the Suns too. I believe they have what it takes to get it done. Memphis versus Golden State. I'm going to have the Golden State Warriors. You can't ever underestimate the heart of a champion, because no Steven Adams, whatnot. That's going to hurt them a little bit on the glass. They do get into foul trouble. I just think Dillon Brooks is just too erratic in that series. With Draymond Green loves to play against guys like Dillon Brooks because he knows he's got the best of him, and they have no one that can guard Steph Curry. I think it's going to be a 7-game series, and Golden State's also going to take that on the road too because of the championship pedigree. And I do believe that Memphis is going to be way too overhyped and too energetic, and Golden State's going to be more calm with their shot-making ability. A close 7-game series. So I would have the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors going to the Western Conference Finals. And this time I'm picking the Phoenix Suns due to Paul, Booker, and Kevin Durant. DeAndre Ayton's going to be a beast, feasting on the glass over the smaller Kevon Looney, the smaller Draymond. And I do believe that Golden State, they're going to get tired at some point if they go this far. So the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant really wants it. He's always going to step up. He's going to step up against his former team. And Devin Booker, this should have been a conference finals matchup last year before the Suns shit the bed to Luka. But now they have Kevin Durant on their team. They have no excuses. With that said, NBA Finals, Bucks and the Phoenix Suns, I'm going with the Milwaukee Bucks in 7 games because Giannis is in his prime right now. And they also got scrappy guys, Grayson Allen, Jay Crowder, Bobby Portis, and Drew Holiday. He wears down on CP3 really well because of his experience. Chris Middleton needs to be making shots too, but they have no one that can contain Giannis. They also have Brook Lopez against Ayton. Ayton's going to have to cover out and guard Lopez on the 3-point shots. And I just think that Milwaukee, being the better team, being the most chemistry together, those guys been around for a few years now. They know what it takes. While Phoenix is still a work in progress with Kevin Durant, you can't just jump into a contending team and expect to win right away without playing that many games. That's why I have the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Phoenix Suns in 7 games for the 2023 NBA Finals. These are my playoff predictions. Enjoy Game 1. Enjoy the first day of the postseason, you guys. Love y'all, and I'll see you next time.